Yo, what is up guys? Coach Daniel here, and today we're going to get into the top 15 paying jobs in software. Now, I have been seeing so many videos out there and so many people have been asking like, what do software developers actually make? What type of software developers make what money? And the reality is not a lot of people are putting out the concrete data. So what I did is I went into Indeed where they have the backed up data because they ask all these engineers what they do, how much they make, and we're going to dive into the different things, dive into the different fields inside software. You'll notice some of it might be more IT related, some of it might be more development related. And we're going to dive into these things, talk about them just to give you more context and potentially more guidance on the path that you want to take. So before we get into it, make sure to smash that like button so that the YouTube algorithm could push this video out there. Subscribe so whenever we have amazing videos just like this one, you'll be notified right off the bat. Now, if you're trying to learn more about the top highest paying jobs inside of software because you're looking to become a software developer and you want to go into one of these jobs, I want you to click the link below because we have a course that you can check out. Our course is called Profit with JavaScript, and we've been able to help hundreds of students land their dream job as a software developer. So if you want to be the next success story, if you want to get your next job and you need to build that technical skill set, click the link below and check out our course. Now, with that being said, let's jump right into it. So here in the top 15, it's ordered from the least to the greatest, and it starts off with systems engineers at a national average of $102,000 per year. So what exactly is a systems engineer? A systems engineer, you could think about kind of like the person who's in between the hardware and the software, right? So they're in charge of making sure that the system as a whole is gonna work properly, that you have your hardware, your databases, your server set up properly, and you have your software being able to talk to it in the right manner. So systems engineering is actually very interesting because it can be applied to a lot of different fields. Specifically, the cases that I gave was for the software related field, but there's also systems engineers that have built out different systems in different fields, such as the mechanical engineering world, the aerospace world, and just any other engineering field as well. So next, if we look here, we have an IT security specialist making about $106,000 per year. Now, the security specialist, their main focus is to make sure that the mainframe security is on point because we wouldn't want any type of hackers, any type of people trying to get the data that the company has about their specific products. Think of it this way, if the company was storing proprietary information inside their databases, you wouldn't want anyone to have access to that information because if they knew what the databases look like, if they knew what the information looked like,
they would be able to hack the information and maybe even erase it, and it would be detrimental to the company.
So an IT security specialist makes sure that the IT system inside the business is secure and it won't be hacked. So guys, before we go any further into these amazing top 15 jobs, I want to tell you about our sponsor for today, Hostinger. As a software developer, you're probably going to come across developing your own sites, your own portfolio to put your projects, or developing projects for your clients. Now, Hostinger is the perfect platform to be able to host and build your websites. They make it super easy to use, super easy to integrate. They have an amazing user experience. They even integrate with other apps to be able to build these websites with so much ease, and it's just beautiful. If you want to learn more about Hostinger, on how you can host your website or buy your domain, click the link below to get 7% off your yearly hosting plan. This is the ideal platform for any website developer. Now, with that being said, let's get back into it. So next, if we scroll down to number 3, this is the one that basically everyone is familiar with, which is software engineer. So the software engineers make on average about $109,000 according to Indeed. And the reason I say this is one of the more typical ones is because when you apply at big tech, this is usually the title that they give you if you go to Google, Microsoft, or Amazon. It will be the software engineer title. It's more like of a generalist where you're just able to build out software applications that are required. So if you fall under software engineering, you could go from anywhere of like the low level programming of the actual hardware to software to even the high level programming of maybe web applications. This is a great starting point to start your software career because as a generalist, you're gonna get to find what your niche is and what the specific things are that you love about being a software developer. So next on this list, coming in at number 4, we have the full stack developer, making about $113,000 per year. Now, if you've been following our channel for a while, you understand that this is what we specialize in. If you want to become a full stack developer and make an average of $113,000 a year, click the link below so that you could take the best JavaScript course on this planet and move towards your dreams of becoming a full stack developer. Now, you might be asking, what exactly is a full stack developer? A full stack developer is a software developer who can build a product end to end. By end to end, I mean they're able to build a front end, which is the UI and making the application, whether it's a web app or a mobile app, look nice, and the back end, which is all of the databases and how the data is going to be stored. If you're a full stack developer, you're a very versatile developer. And for that reason, it's one of the highest paying jobs in the industry for entry-level positions. Not only that, it's one of the most demanded and the funnest. Now, coming in at number 5, we have a cloud engineer making about $121,000 per year. So with the rise of AWS and Azure and all these companies' demands for more cloud engineers, this job has been more and more in demand over the years. Now, I clearly remember when the word cloud first came up, it was such a weird concept to me. I just didn't understand, what is this cloud in the sky that people are getting data from? But these companies, AWS, Azure, Google, all these big tech companies getting involved are showing that it is such an important tool to have. It allows you to basically have collaborative efforts happening in one place. It allows you to store data without having to have your own server or database. It fundamentally solves so many business problems in this world that the technology just keeps growing and growing. And because it is still a relatively new field, it is in high demand and people are getting paid a lot to become cloud engineers. Now, next at number 6, we have data scientists coming at around $121,000 a year. Now, honestly, just data scientist is the hot new thing right now. It's sexy, it's trending, it's the new TikTok. And the reason for this is because people are realizing that when they get data, when they're able to go into a database and collect all this data, you can learn from that, you can understand from that, you can develop analytics. And if you build the right models from that, you can predict things, you can allow machine learning to take into place, you can allow artificial intelligence to be leveraged properly. And now this allows people in the business world to make business decisions based off the data that they have. So next at number 7, we have mobile developers making about $125,000 per year. Now, this one's actually the one that's very close to my heart because this is where my passion for developing came from. I remember when I was sitting there in college and all I was doing my freshman year was playing Flappy Bird. I was clicking that button just so that stupid bird could flap up and I would keep hitting the green pipes. But most importantly, I was just fascinated with how it even worked. I was fascinated how some people were just able to get to level 100 by defying gravity and going through all the pipes. And I wanted to learn how the code actually worked. Mobile development was one of the biggest things that motivated me towards becoming a developer. I wanted to learn more about it. That's when I started to take my first computer science class and it took me down this path. So mobile development is simple. How do you actually make a software application for your phone, whether it's iOS or Android, or even then cross-platform if you leverage a tool like React Native? This field is blowing up because people are realizing that we're going mobile now. In fact, our phone is like an extension of us. If you happen to leave your phone at home, you're gonna feel like you forgot something and you can't focus the rest of the day. So if you want to be part of that industry, if you want to be part of the change because everything is now going mobile, this is definitely a field you can consider. For the next one, we have number 8, and I actually want to put it next with number 9. So number 8, we have development operations engineer coming at $127,000 per year, and number 9, we have a site reliability engineer coming in at $128,000 per year. Now, the reason I personally want to combine them is because from my experience with Blue Origin was that these are basically the same thing. So development operations engineer, also called DevOps engineering, and site reliability engineering, also called SRE engineering, have to deal with making the processes of a regular software engineer's work a lot easier and automating those things. So similar to like how a software engineer built software to automate a regular person's job, the SRE and DevOps built software to automate the software engineer's job. So they make it easy and automate things so that the software engineer just has to worry about writing code, and they don't have to worry about all the pipelines that it has to pass, all the testing that it has to do, because all of that is automated through scripts and through frameworks. Now here in this article, they separate a little bit more by saying that DevOps is actually involved in the operations of creating the scripts, while SRE kind of is the intermediate between the DevOps and the software engineer, but I personally would probably categorize them as just the same thing. Sorry if I offend anyone. Now next, coming in at number 10, we have data warehouse architect, and they have a national average of around $134,000 per year. Now data warehousing is such an important job, and in fact, this was the bulk of my work at Blue Origin. So you could think of a data warehousing architect like the person who plans a database so that you could just throw in a bunch of data and they'll neatly organize and stack everything where it's supposed to go so that someone can ask for that data on the other side and get it in a clean manner. So data warehousing is super important because if it is done right, it will allow all the other types of software developments, whether it's full stack to data scientists, it'll allow all of them to have such an easier job by getting the data in a simple and easy to use manner. So now coming in at number 11, we have the software architect making about $138,000 per year. So the software architect is responsible for using their knowledge and their understanding and planning out how a system should be built, what should be attached to it, what sort of API should it have, should it be a microservice type of system, like what is the general architecture of this software system so that it can work and help every other party that's going to use it in the most efficient manner. By designing and thinking and architecting the software system in a specific way, you're going to save the company a lot of headaches in the future. So there's an important concept here that's called design for change. If you have a design that is adaptable to future changes, then it's going to be robust and it's not going to break down whenever something new is introduced to this. And this is an important topic in terms of software architect that they have to keep in mind so they can build a robust system. Now coming in at number 12, we have the enterprise architect making about $140,000 per year. Now the enterprise architect is very similar to the software architect in regards that they have to think about the design and how it's going to be implemented. But the enterprise architect is a level up higher. Instead of just focusing on a specific software solution, the enterprise architect is going to focus on different software solutions and how they're all going to come into play. So inside of big companies, enterprise architects usually design how all these internal tools are going to interact with each other to make sure that they are effective and that they are really usable inside of the company. Now, coming in at number 13, you're going to notice we're going to switch a little more from the development to the more people skills, but we have a software engineering manager making around $144,000 per year. So these managers make sure they use their expertise to be able to guide and lead a team of developers. Software engineering managers are usually entrusted with a couple projects of problems that they have to solve, and they have maybe a handful of developers who are going to help them to solve that problem. So you need a lot of people skills, a lot of communication skills to make sure that both the customers and your developers are happy. And not only that, to make sure that they're developing the right thing for your customers. So if you like the technical side of it, but you also like to talk to people, you also like to solve the problems, this might be a good place for you. Now next, coming in at number 14, we have the technical program manager making about $145,000 per year on average. Now in different companies, the software engineering manager and the technical program manager tend to work at the same level, but they have different responsibilities. So depending on the company, the software engineering manager and the technical program manager may have different responsibilities. You could usually think as a software engineering manager, the one who knows a little bit more about technology can relate to the developers that he's managing and can also talk in terms of how they're going to develop these next and coming features or fix bugs. While the technical program manager is more on the business side of things. They're going to develop the budget. They're going going to develop the timeline and the time frame for building out the software application, and they're going to be in charge of talking to the customers to make sure that everyone's happy and everyone's on the right path. And finally, the big one that we've all been waiting for, number 15, the Chief Technology Officer, or the CTO, making an average of $157 per year, making an average of $157,000 per year. Now, the CTO, this is the head honcho. He is part of the executives inside of business. This is the person who is overseeing all of the technology departments inside of a business. He has to make sure that they're running like actual businesses with profits and loss. He has to make sure that they're all communicating properly. He has to make sure that the right systems are set up in place so that the company can be successful and the technologies will all work together. Without a CTO, you're gonna see a company struggle to have cohesion within the different software teams. So if you're looking to climb up the corporate ladder, this is the top position that you want to aim for. So guys, that is it. You got to see the top 15 paying developer jobs in software. Go ahead and hit that like button so we could push this out to more people, just to bring more awareness of how much each position can actually make and all these different positions inside of technology and software world. And make sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification icon so that you'll be notified the minute that we drop amazing videos just like this one. And if these 15 salaries inspired you to take some action and become a developer, whether it was full stack or SRE or even the CTO, I have some news for you. We have the perfect course that will help you to get started as a software developer. You can go ahead, click the link below, join our course, Profit with JavaScript, and you're going to learn all the technical skill sets that you need to master JavaScript and land your first job as a developer. We've helped hundreds of students to land anywhere from contracts to full-time jobs, and you could be our next success story. So guys, that is it for this video. I hope to see you on the next one. Peace.